Elesh Norn is back, this time with a heavy focus on Plink and ETB abilities. Can we Plink our way past Rafiq, Etali, and Omnath? Find out next on Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Elesh Norn Mono White Challenge number 2. We got some fans of the channel in the chat. Take a look at our opening hand. One land. Go one land Mana Vault into Solemn Simulacrum, but I don't know, that still doesn't seem amazing. If we miss a land drop after that, we're still kind of in bad shape. Yeah, mulligan that. Not significantly better. We got a 2-lander. I guess that's better than 1. We'll keep this. So if you haven't checked out the Mono White Challenge video already, you should definitely go do that. Running a little contest where I want to see what kind of Mono White decks people can come up with. I'll post a link to that video in the description below. We draw a Gauntlet of Power. Will be nice if we get lands, but until then... So as mentioned, we're playing Elesh Norn, Grand Cenobite, 5 white for a 4/7 with Vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. The ability to reduce or just kill the board state of your opponents is massive. And I found that there are a lot of commanders that just can't do anything with Elesh Norn on the battlefield. Najila, Edgar Markov has a real tough time. So Elesh Norn can really hose a lot of different kinds of decks. Anyway, this deck is going to focus on ETB abilities, and actually my buddy Eli over at Cardboard Confrontation helped me edit this deck down and helped out a lot with some of the card choices that we made in the deck. There's a Grim Monolith. That's interesting. I would like to find some lands here somewhere. Play the Grim Monolith and pass the turn. Rampant Growth for our opponent. Ooh, the original Mirage art. You don't see that one that much. I thought it was kind of weird at the time, but I've come to appreciate a lot of the art that was in Mirage. It was quite a bit different than anything else that had come before it, which definitely means it took some getting used to from everything else that they had released in Magic up to that point, but I'm glad they tried out something a little bit different for that set. Anyway, Farhaven Elf for the Omnath opponent. Etali just passes, and that brings it back to our turn. We draw a Mistveil Plains. Play the Mistveil Plains. A little bit awkward. Do we play the Gauntlet of Power right here with the Grim? Yeah, I think so. It's not going to get us a lot of mana, but it'll get us a little bit of mana. Choosing white. Rafiq of the Many coming into play. Our opponents, by the way. So as I mentioned, we're playing Elesh Norn. Our opponents are running Rafiq of the Many. Had an interesting run-in with Rafiq a couple weeks ago on a video, if you guys remember that one. Anyway, cool commander. Doesn't show up quite as much as it used to, but still really powerful. Going to be a Voltron-style deck. Next up, we have an Omnath Locus of Rage. It's going to be a really powerful landfall deck. Omnath is a really good late-game commander. Once you get ramped up and get that thing into play, those tokens do a lot of damage. And Omnath's going to get a Sword of the Animist equipped onto this Farhaven Elf, and also lays down an Earthcraft, so they've got some mana shenanigans kind of starting up. And then finally, Etali Primal Storm, also a very powerful commander. Gonna get to cast things off the top of everyone's library every time it attacks, so, and there's already a Swiftfoot Boots out there, so they just need to find the mana to cast Etali and get it equipped up. So, really powerful commanders this game. And unfortunately, as I was talking about earlier, there are a number of decks that get hosed really bad by Elesh Norn. These aren't any of them. We draw not a land. Not loving that. I guess we get the Vidalcan Orrery down. A Knight of the White Orchid would be super sweet right here. Especially if we get it down with the Panharmonicon. Gaia's Blessing for the Rafiq opponent. Wall of Reverence for the Rafiq opponent. Interesting. Rafiq swinging into the Omnath opponent. Sounds good to me. Probably fearing what Omnath can do in the late game. And rightfully so. Whew. So Rafiq's getting +1/+1 from our Gauntlet of Power in addition to its other abilities, and that's going to hit in for 10 on the Omnath opponent. They're in danger of taking lethal commander damage next turn if Rafiq can find anything else to give it +1/+1. Doesn't seem like it'll be a hard thing to do. Also puts Rafiq up to 44 with the end step trigger on the Wall of Reverence. And Omnath Locus of Rage coming into play. So next turn, Omnath's going to get started with the token nonsense. Going to make things really challenging. I don't know how much mana we're going to have on our turn. An untapped basic land would be really sweet on our turn. That's the thing we want. Farhaven Elf going to swing into us, get that Sword of the Animist trigger. That does make an elemental token for the Omnath. So starting to get their army powered up. Opponent's going to into the core both of our artifacts, and that might just take us out of the game. We'll see. There's a Soul Ring. That's a little helpful. Still not a land, but it does give us some mana. We lost the Vidalcan Orrery, so I think right here it's going to be the Panharmonicon. We'll probably look to Wrath of God this coming turn. Rafiq going to swing into us this time. Bummer. So we're going to take a big hit right here. So we go down to 28, 8 commander damage. And there's a Supreme Verdict from the Rafiq opponent, so that's going to help us out quite a bit. And Omnath will get one trigger. Slow this game down, which is what we are needing right now, so we can let our value engine take over. Cultivate for the Omnath opponent with a dual caster mage from the Etali. Interesting. So Etali going to get ramped up a little bit right here. Opponent says we've all been bamboozled by red Snapcaster Mage. Electropotence, what's that one do? 2 in a red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 in a red. If you do, that creature deals damage equal to its power to any target. Interesting. When you're getting free creatures off Omnath, that seems pretty good. Etali's down. Let's see what Etali hits. Hits a land. Oh, man, it hits one of our lands. Super annoying. Hits another land, and 4 lands with the Etali. You don't see that happen too often. And that was a Myriad Landscape, which we really could have used. I'm going to go for Anointed Procession right here. We could Wrath the Etali, but I don't know. We'll see if anyone else has anything for it. I'd rather get more value out of the Wrath than just the Etali, but leaving Etali on the board can also be really dangerous. So we might get punished for that. We'll see what happens. Courser of Krufix for the Rafiq opponent. Harmonize for the Omnath opponent. Burnished Heart for the Omnath. And going to get the Electropotence trigger. Does not decide to use it. So Etali hits a Sublime Archangel and a Lightning Greaves. Exiles another land from us. Man, we really need those lands. Trading Post for the Etali opponent. We draw a Ghostway. Wow, not helpful. I know that we're going to need the Wrath of God when Omnath comes back down. Oh, man, I think we got to keep waiting on it. Man, if we can find one of our mana creatures, we could get back into this game so quickly. With Ghostway, Panharmonicon, Restoration Angel. We'll take this turn cycle to actually untap our Grim Monolith. Opponent going to play a Bear Umbra on the Courser of Krufix. So Courser of Krufix going to swing into us. Opponent's going to get to untap all their lands. Going to be doubling up their mana. Ooh, that's an Overwhelming Splendor on the stack. Well, I doubt it's coming our way. Maybe Overwhelming Splendor belongs in this deck because Elesh Norn with Overwhelming Splendor makes everything really small. Means that all of opponent's creatures will die to our Elesh Norn. Opponent's going to sacrifice the boots to draw a card with the Trading Post. Opponent's going to make a Kobold. Kobold will actually get a little buff right there, turning into a 1/1. So opponent decides to go after the Etali. Etali's annoying. I probably would have gone after Omnath, personally. Omnath is really strong in the late game. Opponent's got a Signet coming down. Let's take this opportunity to untap the Grim Monolith before we forget. Blade of Selves for the Etali opponent. Actually won't do anything because the creature will lose all abilities. I don't think it'll do anything. Not sure if the Overwhelming Splendor overrides the Blade of Selves or how that works. There's an Anger. Has no abilities currently. Will once it goes to the graveyard, though. And a Howling Mine. Ooh, Howling Mine. It's going to help us out a bit. So opponent's going to send all the 1/1s into the... Freak goes down to 23. Up to 13 Commander. That's a lot. Blade of Selves for us. Not helpful in this exact second. Ooh, Solemn Simulacrum. That is the one that we've been waiting for. Ooh. Yeah, here we go. All right, so time to get caught up. Play Solemn Simulacrum. Get 2 triggers. Get a Plains. Get a Plains. The way we have to use our mana right here, we do have to cast the Restoration Angel right now because we've already tapped the mana rocks. So play the Restoration Angel. Unfortunately, we can only bounce the Solemn Simulacrum once because once it bounces the first time, it'll get rid of the trigger on the second time. But that's still 2 more Plains. Now, next turn, if we can get Blade of Selves on the Solemn Simulacrum, we will have so many lands. We have 7 lands. It's turn 8 currently, which means we're still actually a land behind. So Battle Grace Angel coming down for the Rafiq. Yeah, if we can survive to our next turn and get Blade of Selves on the Solemn Simulacrum, we're going to get so many lands. We'll get all the Myriad tokens, and the Myriad tokens will be doubled with the Anointed Procession. So Courser of Krufix swinging into the Omnath opponent. It's a 5/7. They get to untap their lands with the Bear Umbra. And Omnath down to 25. Omnath coming back to play. The opponent's got some open mana. Ooh, Warstorm Surge is in play. Don't shoot our... I mean, I don't know. The Simulacrum doesn't seem very shootable. He's going to put Electropotence and Warstorm Surge on the Courser. Okay. One's going to use the Earthcraft to untap a land. Going to put the Sword of the Animist on the Omnath. So Courser of Krufix comes back to play with from the Bear Umbra because of the Totem Armor, but the Bear Umbra is now gone, so that's good news. Interestingly, Rafiq has all of their mana up, which means Cyclonic Rift, maybe? It's not great. Academy Raider. Deals combat damage to a player. May discard a card if you do draw a card. 3 mana. Does have Intimidate, but for 3 mana, doesn't excite me all that much. 2 mana might make it reasonable. So opponent's going to swing into the Rafiq opponent, and it's probably be a good time to see if they have the Cyclonic Rift. Gonna block 1 with the Angel. Nice, so we draw land, so play the land. This turn, definitely going to get this Blade of Selves down. Put the Blade of Selves on the Solemn Simulacrum. I'm going to leave the Restoration Angel back on defense. There's a lot of small things on the board. We can deter quite a bit of damage by not attacking with it. But we will send the Solemn Simulacrum in with the Blade of Selves. It's going to get Myriad. Opponent says, hashtag welcome to Value Town. Yes, indeed. Oh, we're going to get so many lands right here. For those keeping score at home, that was 8 Solemn Simulacrum triggers. So now the question is, all right, so let the damage resolve. All right, so opponents take some damage. Man, I think Wrath of God is going to be worth it on the Omnath right here. Omnath has 6 cards in hand and the Sword of the Animists, so I mean, they're probably just trying to untap. I feel like once they untap with their commander in play, things are going to get real bad. So probably time to play the Wrath of God. And I mean, we're just, as soon as we untap, if we untap next turn, we are so far ahead. Or at least, we'll be ahead of the other two opponents. We'll have probably about as much mana, give or take, as the Omnath. We'll be in the same ballpark. Yeah, I think we got to blow it up right here. Leaving Omnath on board is just too scary, I think. Plus, they're going to have to spend so much mana to recast it. Going to be on 11 mana. That's most of their turn. So play the Wrath of God. We get to draw a card. Ooh, Recruiter of the Guard is good. A Johnny Unyielding for the Rafiq opponent. Rock's Warm-Up coming down for the Rafiq opponent. So opponent striking up a little deal. Looks like Reclamation Sage is going to take out the Overwhelming Splendor, and that'll allow Etali to recast the commander and swing into the Ajani. And the Electropotence and Warstorm Surge triggers take down the Rock's Warmonk. Opponent's going to make a Kobold. It's going to sack up to get their Lightning Greaves back. They do have Anger in their graveyard, so their creatures have haste anyway. One thing to think about with this Recruiter of the Guard is actually War Priest of Thune. A lot of enchantments on the board worth getting rid of in this Warstorm Surge, Earthcraft, and Electropotence. Soul Ring for the Etali opponent. So Etali going to come back to play and put some boots on it. So Etali going to swing into the Planeswalker, and let's see what they hit. Land from us, land from themselves. Only this Urban Evolution. Could be worse. It could be worse. They get to draw some cards and play some additional lands, which will boost them up a little bit, but doesn't directly impact their board position, at least this turn. Opponent's going to untap something with Earthcraft. They're going to fork the Urban Evolution, so now really getting a lot of value. Going to draw 6 cards and play up to 2 additional lands. Ooh. Actually, whose fork was that? So then Omnath reiterated on the Urban Evolution, so they're both getting a lot of card draw and a lot of ramp. Ruby Medallion for the Etali. Ooh, Conjurer's Closet. We can, oh my god, we can go so crazy with the ETBs. So we actually draw the War Priest of Thune, don't even need to search for it. I think first step is going to be Recruiter of the Guard. Get 2 triggers. Definitely going to be Stoneforge Mystic. The second one's a bit more interesting. We can go Mentor of the Meek, Core Cartographer, Karmic Guide could be interesting. That would get back Restoration Angel or Solemn Simulacrum, which seems pretty good. Angel of Invention seems very solid. Even Mind Sensor. I'm thinking Angel of Invention right here. The lifelink and the tokens seem pretty good. Play the War Priest of Thune. Get 2 triggers. Shoot the Warstorm Surge and the Earthcraft. Play the Angel of Invention. Gonna fabricate twice. Gonna make... kind of want to go big for the lifelink, but the servos will get huge with Elesh Norn. Maybe we'll go 1 servos. No, let's just go all servos. So that's a lot of 2/2s. Let's get this Conjurer's Closet down. Play the Mind Stone. Then play the Stoneforge Mystic. Get the Lightning Greaves. And get the Helm of the Host. We get a Conjurer's Closet trigger. We could use the War Priest of Thune to shoot down more enchantments, or we could rebounce the Angel of Invention, which I think I'm liking right here. And I think this time, more servos or... yeah, I think more servos. Opponents still have fairly high life totals. We're going to have to be able to bang out some damage this turn. So right here, we're just playing the hope no one has a board wipe game. Rafiq's coming down. That doesn't look like a board wipe. Ooh, treacherous terrain, you say. Deals damage each opponent equal to the number of lands that player controls. Oh, that's going to be a lot. Reiterate? Double? I think we're dead. We are dead or very close to it. Down to 8? Oh, yeah, we are so dead. That sucks. We go to -8? Wow, we were in such a good position, too. Man, that was so much damage. They got us from 24 down to -8. Wow, it's 32 damage. That's hard to account for. When your opponent doesn't have much out, it's hard to expect that you're going to take 32 damage in a turn. That kind of sucks. Etali's in okay position right here. They're going to get the first attack before Omnath comes down. I mean, the 2 things they could do, if they have some way to blow up the lands, that would be a really good play right here to keep Omnath from coming back into play. Basically, they need to keep Omnath from getting back into play. If Omnath comes down, then it's going to be really hard to get attacks through. And there's an Argentum Armor. That'll help their case quite a bit. Can't do anything with it this turn, but next turn they can start blowing stuff up. So that'll give them the answer they need to keep Omnath out of play. Dragon Master Outcast, for our opponent, gets equipped up with the Argentum Armor. So I think Etali's in a very winnable spot right here. They just need to not get blown out by anything from the Omnath opponent. Vengeful Rebirth. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh. Omnath might be able to get the win right here. Get back to Treacherous Terrain, play it again. Oh, yeah. Yeah. As long as they have the mana, they're good. It does pain me that Omnath just won this game. Reiterate? Oh, yeah. So Omnath taking it down. I don't know. Omnath is a really popular commander. Omnath is a little bit too strong. I've seen Omnath win too many times. Just people let it go because it's kind of a slow deck, but once it gets into that later part of the game, it just wins. It does so much damage without really even trying. They hit us for 32 at the end right there with only the Treacherous Terrain and the Reiterate. Normally I probably wouldn't have that many lands in play, so it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, just Omnath always seems to get there. Caught a bad break in this game in that Elesh Norn did not directly hose any of our opponents. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the Mono White Challenge Deck number 2, Elesh Norn, focusing on ETB and Blink abilities. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.